Hello, welcome to Obscure Poets of History, everything you need to know to blag your way through poetry. With me, Rick Sanders.
And me, Ben Moore.
And in this episode, we're talking about Christina Rossetti. When I am dead, my dearest, sing no sad songs for me. Plant thou no roses at my head, nor shady cypress tree. Be the green grass above me, with showers and dewdrops wet. And if thou wilt, remember. And if thou wilt, forget. I shall not see the shadows, I shall not feel the rain, I shall not hear the nightingale sing on as if in pain. And dreaming through the twilight, thou dost not rise nor set. Haply I may remember, and haply may forget.
Ooh.
Touching, wasn't it?
It is touching.
She's working the syllables there like like a good Victorian poet, chopping out most of them. By shortening the word down. Haply, not happily.
Yeah,
happily.
Hmm.
Like classic Victorian rhyming couplets as well. I like it.
Yeah. She liked a rhyming couplet.
She did.
I think that's fairly typical of a lot of her poems, that one.
Do you?
Because there's a lot of...
That's a bold statement to make. Fairly typical of most of her poems.
Not typical. Okay. I mean, what I mean is...
Yeah.
It's quite representative of her style.
Nice.
There's a solemnity to it. An introspection, a kind of humility to it. You know, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
If you forget me, don't worry too much about it. Like, I'll be fine.
She likes a good death poem.
Loved a good death poem. And it wasn't even like she started writing those towards the end.
No.
Whole life, she
Straight
loved
in.
a good death poem. Yeah.
Straight in with the death poems.
The theme is deep, but the language and the layout is quite simple. It's quite easy to get into, I think. But there's lots to unpack thematically. There you go. That's my analysis of her whole career.
That's good, yeah.
Done.
Yeah, that's good. The theme is deep, but there's a lot to unpack. A bit like a Phil Collins album, I would say.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. Thematically deep. Very accessible.
Yeah.
But beautiful emotional depths.
And quite cheap nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking, and she's quite an enigmatic figure.
Mm.
And unfortunately does often kind of exist in the shadow of her brother, Dante Gabriel, who was born Gabriel Dante, but he thought Dante sounded cooler.
Yeah. Well, he was a pre-Raphaelite, wasn't he? So, you know.
He was the pre-Raphaelite.
He was one of the pre-Raphaelite founding members of the pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. No sisters in there.
No. Literally, we're not allowed in.
Apart from the women that they were drawing, of course.
Yeah, I mean, they were allowed in the room. And Christina Rossetti did contribute to their, magazines and things. But she had to make it very clear that she wouldn't attend meetings. Otherwise, some of the brothers were going to refuse to attend if they let a woman in.
But they could draw her with half a kit off, and that was okay.
Oh yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. She did come out in defence of the whole drawing of the half-naked woman, or the idea that all they were really doing was just boys fantasising over women. And drawing it down in the pre-Raphaelite movement. Oh yeah, I mean, I think she did come out in defence of her brother and his cohorts.
She approved of what they were trying to do. They called themselves the pre-Raphaelites. They're trying to go back before Raphael to when artwork was more not quite literal, but it was true to life. It was truthful, and so you could have a metaphor and it could symbolise something, but it was that you could look at it and go, yes, that could happen.
Yeah.
They wanted more purity in their art, and she was a big believer in that.
She did pose, she had a portrait done, and she was a muse, I guess. I think her brother also did some woodcut engravings for
the Goblin Market and other poems and things. Yeah.
So she was in with the artists.
Yeah.
And what's the other famous thing about Christina Rossetti, Ben? Do you think that most people would think, really? Is that right? Did she really write that Christmas-related song?
Oh,
yes.
If you've ever sung in the bleak midwinter, you were singing a Rossetti poem.
Yeah.
A Christina Rossetti poem.
The other equally famous one, Love Come Down at Christmas.
Yeah, that one didn't catch on quite as much.
I've
heard it.
Have you?
Yeah, it's all right.
Is it?
In the Bleak Midwinter is definitely her hit.
That's the number one single.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. That one's endured.
Yeah. Put to music by put to music by Gustav Holst.
Holst.
And he's quite famous.
Yeah, he's
He did
he's a big deal.
planets and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big name.
And I think once you know that Christina Rossetti wrote that, it makes sense because who else would open a Christmas carol with a line with the word bleak in it? In the bleak midwinter. And ends with, I have nothing to give you, so what I give you is my heart. And there's this kind of very confessional, solemn air to it. But yes, she wrote a Christmas carol, which is in the canon of classic Christmas carols.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So I didn't know that until I started researching Tina's work, and and there it is. Born in London, but of Italian descent.
Yeah, so her father was Italian.
He was exiled. We were discussing earlier. I wonder
what he was exiled for.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell you. We're going to make you guess because we don't know.
No, we don't know. I said it might be because he's too Italian, and they kicked him out.
Yeah, which would be strange for Italy.
Italian.
But yes, so her dad, difficult man, spends most of his time translating Dante of Inferno fame.
Hence the name of his.
Naming his son.
Son Dante.
Dante, not unloving, but prone to sort of rage and.
Well, he was a poet, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, that's all you need to know, really.
He was temperamental.
Yeah.
As many poets are, and Christina Rossetti got on much better with her mum.
Yep.
Who she actually cared for into old age, and was a big fan of her mum, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
And often compared to Barrett Browning, Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And I think part of the reason that's because they were both incredibly prodigious when they were children. Christina, for example, got her first piece of writing dictated before she could even write.
Oh, really?
She'd already written something in her head.
Do you know what it was?
No.
As a child, she had a reputation for being playful, boisterous, loud, cheeky, rebellious.
Nice.
But she'd get angry and she'd smash things, and at one point grabbed some scissors and cut her own arm open to display how furious she was. And so you have this child who is full of energy and rage and excitement, and then something happens. And there are these dark points in her life where we literally don't know anything about what was going on. And one of these happens when she's a teenager. And when she comes out the other side, something's changed.
Is it puberty? It
might be, but it's also quite likely to be depression.
I
know that's less fun. It's less amusing. Which would you, listeners at home, which would you prefer?
Puberty or depression?
Yeah.
On the list of things to go through.
So she may well have been dealing with both. And
right.
She comes out the other side, seemingly, the reputation that endures is seemingly solemn and serious and unhappy.
Oh, dear.
Which we were discussing earlier, and we'll get to, I think, maybe a simplification of things.
It might also coincidentally be the point at which her entire family gets into the religious phase of their...
well, you say your entire family. Not quite all of them manage it.
Oh, okay.
But her and her sister Maria... very devout.
Yeah.
Her sister actually ends up as a nun eventually.
A nun?
So she goes through. I think her sister was engaged at one point.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, she never married. They did lots of voluntary work, and she ended up going into a convent.
Wow.
Which again, it feels nowadays we hear that and we go, oh, poor woman. Oh, that's miserable, isn't it? Apparently, she was thrilled.
That's probably a life of shits and giggles the whole way, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the nunnery.
But finally getting away from all the Victorian men.
Yeah,
you know. So she's absolutely thrilled. She's like, "You're fantastic. I'm going into the convent."
I'm in.
One impression that endures of Christina Rossetti, and I was complaining about this earlier.
You were saying that you feel that she is portrayed as one of two characters.
Yes, I think there's two kind of main
tropes.
Field kind of camps that people seem to land in with her. And this is one of them, is that she was this repressed, miserable, unhappy, turned to religion because she had nothing else good in her life, and she was too pious to be of any use, and nobody really liked her, but she was pretty when she was young, so they did paintings of her and then kind of got bored of her. And then on the other side, you have more contemporary, modern day interpretations of her poetry, which is that it's every line, Rick, is about sex.
Every line?
She's desperate for sex. She's an addict.
Wow.
Absolutely obsessed with it. That's the other camp, is that all of her stuff's about sex, including the Goblin Market, which admittedly we'll come to, has some strange lines in it. But I'm going to be very bold here. I work at a university and I've met academics.
There's no need to be name dropping.
And if you hang out with any academics for any length of time, you realise that not only is it okay to disagree with them on stuff, sometimes it's actually quite sensible too.
Okay.
And I don't think either of these makes any sense, because I think firstly, if you look at the time she's writing in, the kind of person that she is in her life, and her morality, her ideas of the world, there's no way she's writing all these poems about sex.
No.
Of course they're not.
No.
And that people want it to be about that, but it's not. On the other hand, in her lifetime, 3 men proposed to her.
3?
3.
Crikey.
3. And this, this idea, she's too pious to be of any use.
Yeah.
One of them's not even religious.
I know, they're just queuing up.
And so I think, well, she can't have been that boring.
No. I
you
agree.
know,
I agree.
what's going on there? So I think, to be honest, I say sack off all the academics. For
They're
goodness
always wrong
sake,
anyway, aren't they? Academics are always wrong.
Just look at what she's actually like. And I think
read
she's
some
much
of her
more
poetry.
interesting. Yeah.
Read some of her poetry, get a feel for the woman.
Yeah.
And away you go. Anyway.
That's my anti-academic rant out the way.
So for any academics listening, you're all wrong.
Screw you. Screw you specifically.
Get a better job.
Yeah. James Collinson, yes, one of the founding members of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. It's the classic story, isn't it, Rick? You start painting your best mate's sister. One thing leads to another.
Yeah. Then you think, I'm going to pop the old question.
Might as well.
Pop the old question. Yeah. She's all right looking, got a wealthy family. I quite like her brother. Get on all right. Yeah, she'll do. She turns him down. Rightly so.
Well, no. This is interesting. They were engaged for a long time.
They were, weren't they?
Yeah, this one.
And then he swapped allegiances, didn't he?
He reverted to Catholicism.
Yes, he left footer. She's having none of it.
And Christina Rossetti says that's not really compatible.
No, I'm a big C of E fan.
Yeah. But he, obviously completely unrelated, then has a bit of a crisis and declares that as a good Catholic, he can't be part of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood anymore. For some reason, I can't really determine why.
Obscure.
I think because
I can't be part of the arts and crafts because I
don't believe in paint anymore.
Yeah.
But he seemingly has some feeling that some of the literature they're putting out is perhaps a bit too anti-religious for his liking, and he doesn't want to be published in the same magazine as anti-religious. So he quits dramatically.
I think he just doesn't want to be around or just swanning around getting a portrait.
Well, that's what I think. I think actually it all becomes a bit tough.
Yeah.
So he claims a religious exemption.
Yeah.
Ducks out.
Place a religious card. Nice.
I think goes into the church for a while, because, and then comes out and gets married. And there is some suggestion that actually Christina Rossetti may have met him again sometime afterwards, and may have always felt a little sort of pang. He was possibly the one, and she never quite got over him. Because he was lovely, but he didn't take rejection very well.
It's a nice cheery story early on in the episode.
Do you know what? Unfortunately, with Christina Rossetti, there's not that much cheering to go on. No. What we know of her is usually times of crisis.
She also follows the kind of classic Victorian family trope where they're quite well off, they're doing all right, and then all of a sudden something happens with her father's business, and it all goes pear-shaped.
He got really ill, didn't he?
He got really ill. Yeah, but the point was, he got really ill, couldn't carry on with his income earning. She actually started, her mum started a school in Frome, down in Somerset.
Yes, and I think Christina Rossetti was briefly involved.
Briefly, yeah, it didn't last very long.
Everyone was briefly involved,
didn't last very long.
No.
Which is surprising, because if you go to Frome now, it's full of independent...
They were ahead of their time.
It's full of independent shops, and likes to have itself out there as a kind of independent, artistic, creative community. Yeah, they closed that school down, straight down. Yeah, I think there's a plaque
Was there?
There's a plaque still there on some
Christina
building.
Rossetti almost hung out here.
Christina Rossetti was here for
Mm.
6 months with her mum, running a school, and then it all
left.
went.
Yeah.
And they went back to London because you could afford to in those days.
Yeah.
Now, you've got no chance.
Yeah, it hadn't been quite as bougified, is it?
No.
I mean, it had been fairly bougified, but not quite as much.
Bougified?
Hmm.
What are you talking about? Goblin Market. Do you want to do an extract? Are you going to do the shopping list extract, or are you going to go a bit further on? Because it's like a shopping list, isn't it, at the beginning?
I thought maybe the second and third stanzas, because it introduces the two characters, the two young women, and the goblins.
Are they sisters or are they unrelated?
They're sisters.
I thought they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, this is where this poem has caused some confusion, because they are sisters in the poem, but people have kind of think that there might be inverted commas around that, and the reason that they don't like goblin men is that they're men rather than that they're goblins.
Okay, fair enough.
But
All
I think there is a much more straightforward reading of this poem, which is that there's something about not giving up your virtue too easily to men who are not really worth your time.
Greengrocers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we go. Evening by evening, among the brookside rushes, Laura bowed her head to hear, Lizzie veiled her blushes. Crouching close together in the cooling weather, with clasping arms and cautioning lips, with tingling cheeks and fingertips, lie close, Laura said, pricking up her golden head, we must not look at goblin men. We must not buy their fruits. Who knows upon what soil they fed their hungry, thirsty roots? Come by, call the goblins, hobbling down the glen. Oh, cried Lizzie, Laura, Laura, you should not peep at goblin men. Lizzie covered up her eyes, covered close, lest they should look. Laura reared her glossy head and whispered, like the restless brook, look, Lizzie, down the glen tramp little men. One hauls a basket, one bears a plate, one lugs a golden dish of many pounds weight. How fair the vine must grow whose grapes are so luscious. How warm the wind must blow through those fruit bushes. No, said Lizzie, no, 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 their offers should not charm us. Their evil gifts would harm us. She thrust a dimpled finger in each ear, shut eyes and ran. Curious Laura chose to linger, wondering at each merchant man. One had a cat's face, one whisked a tail, one tramped at a rat's pace, one crawled like a snail, one like a wombat prowled obtuse and furry, one like a rattle tumbled hurry-scurry. She heard a voice like voice of doves cooing all together. They sounded kind and full of loves in the pleasant weather. She loved wombats.
Shit, a big wombat fan.
She genuinely was a big wombat fan. That's actually a thing.
I don't think I've ever heard a Victorian poet refer to the wombat.
She loved wombats.
In the piece of writing there. Very good.
But the premise is you've got Laura and Lizzie. Laura listens to the goblin men. She buys fruit off them and she eats it. And something happens. And the next day, she can't hear the goblins, but Lizzie still can. And she's very distressed. This fruit is the best fruit she's ever tasted. And now nothing that she eats or drinks tastes good at all. Lizzie thinks, right. The next it goes, right, I'm going to go chat with them.
Right.
So she goes down to the goblin men and she says, look here, I need some of your fruit for my sister, please. And they go, oh, yeah, here's some fruit. Eat them. And she goes, no, it's not for me, thanks. I'm just good. And the goblin men aren't happy with this. So they start smearing the fruit all over her and squeezing the juice on her, trying to get it to go in her mouth.
Right.
So that she will taste the fruit. And she goes, no, you can't get me like that.
Yeah.
What, you think this is a joke? She keeps her mouth closed. But she walks back covered in fruit and juice.
Yeah.
And says to her sister, right, here it is. You got to eat this. So Laura eats that. And it doesn't seem to help at all, except that she eventually recovers from her illness. And then abruptly, towards the end, it kind of wraps it up. It goes, and they grew up and they both got married and they lived happily ever after. And the moral is, don't go hang out with goblin men. Turns out, just make friends with women. We'll look after each other.
Yep.
You don't need all that rubbish.
Don't need that fruit.
Yeah, don't need that fruit.
No. Sounds like the festival of the tomato that they have in
kind of that vibe. But imagine
somewhere in Spain, I think.
Imagine that the only food that will satisfy you is tomatoes, and then you have to eat it off somebody who's covered in tomatoes.
Yeah.
So there are some lines that sound questionable.
So it's like early food
days.
fetish poetry. Very niche.
But that's what it sounds like now. That's the problem.
Yeah, now that we've
interpreted
it.
Read it now,
in the modern age,
and you go, "Oh, that's a bit cheeky, isn't it?" You know. But I think she would have been horrified at such an overtly sexual interpretation of this poem.
Yeah.
I think she would. I think she's literally just like, "Whoa, make some friends." And that really was her first big hit single. Her album. She releases that. That's the first poem in the collection. Her brother illustrates it.
With an engraving, woodcut engraving.
Apparently, he was a real. Oh my goodness! Got a musical accompaniment.
It's my phone.
So it is. Oh God! Do you need to answer that?
I am. Hello. I am. Yeah.
We'll cut all this out. I won't cut. Actually, I'm going to keep this in.
No, probably halfway through.
I'm going to cut out everything except this bit.
All right. No, not quite there. Okay. See you later. Bye. And that, Ben, is a reminder of you to turn your bloody phone off when you're in the middle of a podcast.
Well, actually, I already put mine on, so I even turned the vibrate off on my phone.
Did you put it on airplane mode?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I just turned off the noise and the vibration so it can't disturb us. Because I thought ahead.
So my theory on Christina Rossetti, right, is that she was a wild camper.
A wild camper?
Yeah. You know these people that go wild camping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think she literally did that?
I think she was a wild camper, and it's based on this one poem that she wrote, right? So when you go wild camping, have you been wild camping, Ben?
No, I hate camping of any kind.
Okay, there you go. So if you go wild camp, it's quite scary because you all you've got is your food and your tent. You don't really know where you're going to camp, so you're a little bit unnerved by not being able to find somewhere to stay, or can't find your campsite, can't find your bit of wild camping space that you want to. So you're always a bit on edge. It's getting dark. You haven't had your tea, and then you're up against it. I read this poem by Christina Rossetti, and
Which poem is it? Do you want to share it?
I think she is a wild camper.
Okay. Do you want to share it with the
it's
class?
called Uphill. Does the road wind up the hill all the way? Yes, to the very end. Will the day's journey take the whole long day? From morn to night, my friend. But is there for the night a resting place, a roof for when the slow dark hours begin? May not the darkness hide it from my face? You cannot miss that inn. Shall I meet other wayfarers at night, those who have gone before? And must I knock or call when just in sight? They will not keep you standing at that door. Shall I find comfort, travel sore and weak? Of labour you shall find the sum. Will there be beds for me and all who seek? Yea, beds for all who come.
You're probably the first critic in history to interpret that as a poem about wild camping.
Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is. That's my take on it anyway.
I see.
It's a nice poem, though.
It is nice. I think, unfortunately, Rick.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a metaphor for a life of religious devotion.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll miss a point there then.
Yeah.
I think if it was North Face or somebody like that, they should get that.
Put that on the wall.
Printed
their shops.
One of their motivational posters.
Unfortunately,
yeah,
I don't think that's quite what she was writing about. I don't think she really got out and about because she was one of those terminally. No, it's not. I was about to say terminally ill, constantly ill.
Victorian women.
Victorians, because her brother was like that as well. They were all kind of a bit sickly, so she didn't do much camping.
Can't believe it.
Maybe she did it once and thought, "Flip neck, is it uphill all the way?"
Where is she on the
Phil Collins
Phil Collins arc?
Well, she had a very kind of slow and steady kind of move upwards. She wasn't like an overnight sensation. I guess, back in Victorian times, you didn't have TV, you didn't have radio or podcasts or whatever. So people would read books, but they'd also read magazines.
Mm.
And she would contribute poems to various magazines and things. And so she started getting a bit of a name because her name kept cropping up under good poems in literary places. Until eventually she's made enough of a case, you should let me publish a book and it'll be successful. And it was very successful.
And was that Goblin Market and other poems?
Yeah, I think that was her first collection, Goblin Market and Other Poems. So there's this kind of steady growth in her success. It's not a big explosion. And I think that was sort of how it worked for a lot of poets back then, was you gradually build up your reputation. She becomes known to other poets, like the Brownings and that.
Well, she was lauded, wasn't she, at one point as being the next Elizabeth Barrett Browning?
Yeah, there was also some, nobody's quite sure how serious it was, but similar to Elizabeth Barrett Browning, some talk about, should she be the poet laureate? Could we give it to a woman?
Oh, really?
Could she be the people's poet? Because people liked her stuff. She ended up in a very busy house, so even after her dad had died and Dante had moved out, she had another brother. And William was kind of the admin guy of the family. He's the
admin guy.
He kept all the records, and
he did all the wills.
He
did all the
yeah.
He's
the reason we have any information about any member of
his
his
family.
family.
He held all the power of attorney, all of that stuff.
But he moved his new wife, into the house, and it all got a bit tense because they didn't all get on.
No,
Christina and her mum had to move out of their
they kicked her out
childhood home.
Wow.
So they got booted out, and she at some point in all this, another guy comes along, Charles Cayley, a linguist, and thinks, hey...
A cunning linguist.
Hey, she's all right. She's not too bad. And she's available. Nice. Maybe thinks he's going to do a Robert Browning, rescue an aging woman from obscurity. He says, you want to, maybe we should get married. She goes, Catholic, aren't you? He goes, yeah. Sling your hook.
Yeah.
Get out of here, mate.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. So clearly at this point, there's still something about her very compelling. We don't know much about what she's doing. For a while, she's working in the Mary Magdalene House of Charity, which is a home for single mothers. She's volunteering there, doing essentially English lessons with them.
Oh, okay.
English literature.
Yeah. I'll tell you what else she's doing as well, Ben.
What?
She's collecting stamps.
I mean...
She was one of the world's first female stamp collectors.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I read a whole book about her. I never came across this.
Well,
collecting stamps.
Yeah, a philatelist. That's what they're called. Yeah, one of the first female stamp collectors.
But she, we know from a lot of her letters, she didn't leave the house much, but she got involved in quite a lot of causes. She loved a cause.
Did she?
And a petition.
Was she in the WI? The Women's Institute?
No, so actually one of the causes that she was completely ambivalent about was votes for women.
Really?
She kind of...
Don't need them.
She didn't really care either way. She was like, oh, well, okay, if we get them, fine, but I'm not sure I really need a vote.
Yeah,
votes.
Published author.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
But she was very outspokenly against slavery. Mm-hmm. She was very anti-slavery. She was anti-vivisection. And another really good cause, but kind of tragic that this had to be a big, we should lobby the government about this. She thought that children shouldn't be prostitutes.
Well, that's
yeah. And she had to start a petition. She had to be involved in a petition about that. So she really, for her time, had some progressive ideas, primarily around justice.
Yeah.
Justice. It's not right.
And that's probably why the comparisons with her and Barrett Browning are the same.
Yeah,
because she was a strong campaigner for different causes and.
Browning was often more overtly like political, as in the nitty gritty of politics, and I think Rossetti, being who she was, often came at it from a faith angle, which is these are human beings, they have dignity, don't enslave them, and don't make children work in the sex trade.
Don't cut up the animals.
And don't cut up animals because that's pretty mean. She's maybe at the big success.
Yeah.
Hey, I've made it.
Yeah.
Stuff sells. She's a big deal.
So she's on the bandage stage of the Phil Collins arc there, where he's come out of his
the good causes.
he's come out of his so-called superstardom to support the Band-Aid.
Yeah. She's up
cause.
there.
So that's where she's at, right on the kind of uplifting top edge of the arc,
at the top of the first top. And I think in her lifetime, I don't think we saw the dip. I think as usual, what happens is she died, and there's a lull of interest
afterwards,
and then she's rediscovered. But at some point again, and I think there's a poem we should read. Another man, John Brett.
John
arrives on the scene, and she rejects him as well. And I don't think it's on Catholic grounds.
Oh, not a Catholic grounds this time.
I don't think so. I don't think he was particularly religious, this one. I might be wrong. But she turns him down as well.
And you've got a theory that she wrote a poem about that.
Yeah, so there's this poem that shows up, and nobody can prove beyond any doubt that this is about him. But it's called No Thank You, John.
I think that's a big giveaway.
Yeah. And opens with the line, I never said I loved you, John.
Well,
so I think it's probably about him.
I think it's about John.
And I think he got roasted.
Yeah. Totally.
I think she roasted him in this poem. So this is No Thank You, John. I never said I loved you, John. Why will you tease me day by day and wax a weariness to think upon with always do and pray? You know I never loved you, John. No fault of mine made me your toast. Why will you haunt me with a face as wan as shows an hour-old ghost? I dare say Meg or Mole would take pity upon you if you'd ask, and pray don't remain single for my sake, who can't perform that task. I have no heart? Perhaps I have not. But then you're mad to take offence that I don't give you what I have not got. Use your common sense. Let bygones be bygones. Don't call me false who owed not to be true. I'd rather answer no to 50 Johns than answer yes to you. Let's mar our pleasant days no more. Songbirds of passage, days of youth, catch at today, forget the days before. I'll wink at your untruth. Let us strike hands as hearty friends, no more, no less. And friendship's good, only don't keep in view ulterior ends and points not understood. In open treaty rise above quibbles and shuffling off and on. Here's friendship for you, if you like, but love, no thank you, John. I mean, just
roasted, man.
Look at this.
Give him the 2-finger salute.
I dare say Meg or Mole would take pity upon you if you'd ask.
Yeah.
Oh.
And also the reference to him not being a bit of a looker. So I think I think he was just a bit. Yeah. It just wasn't right.
But he's clearly called her heartless, and she goes, "Well, if I haven't got a heart, why are you angry? I'm giving it to you."
Yeah.
You idiot.
Use
your common sense.
Move on, John.
Yeah. I'd rather answer no to 50 Johns.
50 Johns.
Than answer yes to you. I also like, let us strike hands as hearty friends, no more, no less, and friendship's good. She's saying, what? Don't go, oh, just friends. What's wrong with friendship?
Yeah.
Right? Only don't keep in view ulterior ends.
Yeah.
She's basically saying, we can hang out, but if you're only hanging out with me because you think I'm going to change my mind.
Yeah. On your bike.
And the fact that she breaks the structure and the rhythm at the end just to rinse him with that.
Yeah.
That's the poem that I think when I was doing my research, I read that and I was like, I'm a fan.
Oh,
I'm all in.
What happens in towards her later life then?
Well,
I think she's gone on the odd stamp collecting thing.
Yeah,
she got ill, didn't she?
She did become ill.
What was it? Graves' disease.
Graves' disease.
Yeah.
Which, unfortunately, for a Victorian woman, it changed her appearance. Part of this illness made her eyes bulge. And so you see in later portraits, her eyes become larger.
Right.
Which was a very visible symptom of it. But it caused her a lot of pain, made her very ill. And she very nearly died. And then, it all kind of, she sort of, it's a shame to say it, but she just sort of chugs along for a bit. She settles into this quite happy life. Her brother has some kids. She's the kind of quirky aunt. She writes a lot of poems.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are about death.
I think she had a premonition.
Well, but she's been doing that her whole life.
Yeah.
She kind of becomes this quiet woman who's still writing poetry. She, maybe not as prolific as she once was. Committed to her church. She's very involved. She does a bit of volunteering, and she has, considering she's a famous poet, she has quite a quiet life, and dedicates her life basically to looking after other people. Looks after her mum, who dies. Looks after Dante, who dies, and that's kind of her life for a while. And then she got breast cancer. That
was the cause of her death in the end. And she's buried in the family plot in Highgate. Cemetery.
Highgate Seminary.
Highgate Seminary, yes.
But no, so you can go and go for it. I heartily recommend it. I really do. I went on a tour of Highgate Cemetery. It's a phenomenal place.
Right.
And you can find Christina
Is it in
Rossetti.
the dead centre of London?
No, it's in Highgate. Oh, I missed it.
Yay.
Oh, I missed it. Oh, awful. Dear me.
And also, if you're a bit of a fan of the sort of walking tour, you can go to 30 Torrington Square in Bloomsbury, where they've got a plaque on the wall, which is a house in which she died.
And that was more or less it. And her brother, William, gathered up as much of her sort of papers and things as he could, and became, I guess, looked after her estate, as we think of it, and then kind of took that on and wrote lots about her and corrected and offered a very curated. We were talking earlier about the problem with doing an episode on a living poet is often you don't know most of the gossip until years after they're gone. And he did carefully curate her image while he was around,
right,
portraying her as a very virtuous, very pious kind of, and then later we discover the exciting, all the men who proposed to her and all this stuff. And but yeah, she just sort of quietly lived out her life, found great contentment in helping people. Just, it sounded a really lovely woman,
yeah. Ben, the three random words,
yes,
as selected by the random word generator,
it's quite deep this
for
time.
us to write a Christina Rossetti style poem, were chance, fate, and fool.
Which feel very Rossetti to me. How chance, fate, and
connected.
fool. Yeah.
Have you done a poem?
I've written one, and I wrote it to the structure of No Thank You, John. What have you done?
I've done a sort of death related one.
Nice. Okay.
Because Tina was big into the death poems.
She loved a bit of death.
I'm going to call it My Light Will Fade.
Ooh.
I know, it's good, isn't it?
My Light Will Fade. It's like she's in the room with us. I think you should go first for this. So what are we looking out for? Chance, fate, and fool.
And fool. Here we go. My light will fade. By chance I sit and count the days till fate comes knocking at my door, when I will press you on the ways, you'll mourn me into evermore. For I must know beyond all doubt that you shall suffer when I pass, that pain of death will wring you out, close to your chest my ashes clasp. My light will fade, the morning wane, and like a fool you will return to mortal tasks to ease the pain, for sweeter days your heart will yearn. The tide will ebb and time will flow, you will forget me by and by, the least and last that you shall know is I'll be waiting when you die.
Nice.
Hey?
That is nice.
Is that a tear? Are you crying? That's brought a little tear to your eye.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
You can't see it, but I'm...
Inwardly.
Well, you can't see it or hear it.
Inwardly.
But I'm weeping.
Yeah, great.
Very nice.
Nice.
Very nice. I feel like you did a great job there.
I did a good job there, I thought.
Yeah, I feel like if I'd stumbled across that in a Rossetti collection, I would have thought, it's not a best work, but I would have believed it was hers.
Early attempt. I'll take that.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah.
What about
a bit
yours?
about remembrance.
What about yours? What's yours based on?
So I went down a more comedic route. I know that wasn't very traditional of her, but I've tried to take a comedic topic and...
That must have been quite challenging for you.
I've never laughed a day in my life. And put it in a Rossetti-esque way. So I've taken the structure of No Thank You, John, used that rhyming structure and the rhythm of that. So it was my... At the time of recording, it was my stag do last weekend, get married in August. And I won't unpack the whole thing, but there were challenges I had to do, and there were forfeits for when I got it wrong. And one of the forfeits was that I had to eat some incredibly hot chili sauce. It's called da bomb, and it was very painful to eat. It was painful on the way in, and it was painful on the way out.
Oh, I don't need to know that.
And that's what this poem
is about.
Just making it home in time after the stag do. And so this is called Providence. Was Providence at work that day? I will not call it empty chance that held my humour all the bubbling way after that dreadful dance of sauces from the chili plant, jellied duck feet, curry, ale. I carried on where others cried, I can't, I not allowed to fail. Was Providence at work that day? I won't ascribe his grace to fate, who answers when his children kneel and pray for fear of what they ate. The witch's brew, the evil broth tormented me, and gurgling, whispered to me of an impending wrath, the spasm and the sting. Was Providence at work that day to blow me hence on mercy's wings before my feeble body's doors gave way to what such diet brings? What heat and agony ensue? A fool I was so to consume. Now emptied of myself, cleared through and through, that sweeter life may bloom.
That's very good.
It's pretty good, wasn't it?
Jelly duck feet.
That was another challenge. I had to eat a jellied duck foot. That was really unpleasant.
Yeah, the whole thing was unpleasant.
Yeah,
mostly the poem, but yeah.
But I'm quite pleased with
you
that.
were quite pleased with that, were you?
Yeah,
well
I quite like it.
Well done, Ben. That's also a hell of a stag do.
I mean, it was probably relatively tame compared with many people's stag do's, but as I said earlier, Rick, it was painful enough.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough about you.
Yeah.
Let's get the Rossetti closing poem, shall we? I've enjoyed this Rossetti episode.
Honestly, I've become a big fan of Christina Rossetti. I know she's lived comparing her with last one's John Donne, who seemed to be everywhere, do everything. She lived a quieter life. Interestingly, both seem to come to this quite religious conclusion, but John Donne in quite an explosive way, and Rossetti quite quietly. She seems the more rational, down-to-earth poet. No, I've become a big fan. Fan. So I'm going to read lots more, I think. Okay.
Have we got a closing poem? Ben,
well, I thought we should probably end with a solemn one.
Oh.
Which is also about death.
Death? Oh, what a surprise.
Yeah. And it's called As the Sparks Fly Upwards.
Anyway,
so here's a miserable poem from Christina Rossetti.
First
We probably should, shouldn't we? Yeah.
Listeners.
Well, that's what's coming up.
Okay.
Thanks, all you listeners, Mum.
Yep. Yeah. My mum
and Jill.
Well, Jill featured on this episode.
That's true.
Yeah.
Emma will probably listen out of loyalty, so that's 4.
Okay, that's yeah. Okay, great.
Fantastic. Well, thanks everyone. Thank you, Rick.
See you soon.
And goodbye. As the sparks fly upwards. Lord, grant us wills to trust thee with such aim of hope and passionate craving of desire, that we may mount aspiring, and aspire still while we mount, rejoicing in thy name. Yesterday, this day, day by day the same, so sparks fly upwards, scaling heaven by fire, still mount and still attain not, yet draw nigher, while they have being to their fountain flame. To saints who mount the bottomless abyss is as mere nothing. They have set their face onward and upward toward that blessed place, where man rejoices with his God, and soul with soul in the unutterable kiss.